G'day and welcome to NZFPV Ground Station. Today's video is a little project to convert this free flight glider into a micro RC glider. I got this glider off eBay for about $6 New Zealand money. So what we're going to do is we're going to put some radio gear in it and convert it to RC flight. Let's take the contents out of the box. Right, here's the contents out of the box. Well, we got our fuselage, our main wing and our tail wing and our hatch, and also it comes with ball bearings. Obviously that's to balance the glider in free flight. So what we're going to do is we're going to carve out inside here to house in our 1S lipo, which I'm going to use, and our receiver, and then we're going to put a servo for the ailerons, and then we're going to modify the rudder, so not the rudder, the elevator. So we've got elevator and ailerons. We won't worry about the rudder, we just want to keep the weight down. So let's do the first stage, is to carve this out here, just enough for our receiver and battery. We begin the carving out of the front of the fuselage just to accumulate my 1S lipo into there. This is not the final carving stage. I still got to accommodate the receiver and servos, but what we're going to do now is we're going to glue the wings together, and also the tail plane. Right, before I glue the wing in, what I've done is I cut in the holes for the servos. So you got one in the tail there for your elevator, and one up there that does the ailerons. And what I've done is put a threaded rod inside the fuselage, so we can get the servo wire from the internal, so it makes it a little bit tidier. And I've also brought out that hole in the middle for our radio gear and our and our battery, well, battery and receiver, which fits in there nice and snug. So everything's going according to plan. So what we're going to do is later on is glue that servo into place like that, and then this one here is the same scenario, but the wire will be tucked in a little bit neater once the wing is on. Well, as soon as I get this get in there. There we go. And of course I'll put that servo down. So that's the process so far. What I also notice is, if you have a look at the back there, it's slightly bowed. So what I'm going to do is put a bit of carbon strip to straighten that fuselage up, so it doesn't have any tendency to turn. As we're not having rudder, we're going to have elevator and ailerons. So the next stage is we've got to put some carbon fibre, one carbon fibre rod in the wing to stiffen it up, and then we'll cut the ailerons out, and then we'll glue the wing in. Now under the bumps of the glider here, we've actually put a carbon rod straight up the middle, just to straighten it out so it doesn't flex, and cut a groove out, put a bit of hot glue in there, and then put some fiberglass tape on top, and that will make the fuselage more rigid. Also I've glued the servos in, that servo in for the elevator. So now we're going to have to do the reinforcement of the wings before we install the wings on the glider. Here are the wings. I've put carbon fibre in the middle, near to where the CNG is going to go. It only goes about halfway through, or 3/4 of the whole wing, and did the same thing what I did to the fuselage, is cut a slot out, put hot glue, mounted the carbon fibre in the middle, and then put some tape on both sides, but I've left some tape out in the middle because that's where it's going to join onto the fuselage. Now what I'm going to do is we're going to cut these ailerons out, but I'm going to make it slightly bigger, so we've just got a little bit more control authority over it. Here's the wing with the ailerons all cut out. So what we're going to do is just send a small angle so we can get that free moving, and put some of that fiberglass tape as our hinges. Now we've got our aileron surface centered down on an angle on one side, so we've got a little bit of movement in that. Now we're going to fit this onto the wing with a bit of fiberglass tape. Now we've got our ailerons hinged into our wing. It's all nice and free now. We'll have a look there and on the bottom. Put some tape on the top and on the bottom. Now we're going to glue the wing to the fuselage, and then we'll install the servo and also carve out a little bit of access hole so we can get our servo lead for the ailerons into the hatch here. A dry fit with the tailplane in. To see what it looks like. It looks pretty good. Just before I started on the tail section, I've already put these servo horns on and connected the servos up with the linkages and that. So now we're going to do the tail section now. Now to begin our tail section, what I've done is marked out lines all the way through, so where the spars are going to go, and it's going to be on like a hinging type of tailplane. Stabilize elevator. So that's the first one done, cut the grooves, and then we cut it out in three places. So your middle one goes into the middle here, and the other two get joined on, so it's sort of like makes a we'll get that one there, is that the whole elevator hinges. So we'll put the centre part into the fuselage and cut a little bit of carbon fibre tube out. Now we've got the centre section all glued in, plus the carbon fibre tube. Now it's time to put in each elevator halves. And the trick is just to get, it doesn't matter how, the trick is to get it lined up. So it's not like ailerons and it twists to one side. So we're going to glue that on now. Here is our dry fit before we join the final elevator half in. If we put on an angle, we can see what sort of system I've got. Deflection. It's going to provide ample elevator. So the next stage is to glue them both in permanently, and then we'll put the hinges on and set up the servo horn. Right, we're glued on both halves of the elevator, right there. Now care is given to make sure each elevator half is absolutely straight and there's no warps in it whatsoever. So the next stage is we're just going to put a servo horn on here and then connect to the servo and check our control linkages, our centre of gravity. Right, we've got our control horn sorted out for the elevator, and we've put up a carbon fibre rod as our push rod, so it stiffens it up so there's no flex on the elevator. So we've got the radio plugged in. We've got our up elevator and then our down. I'll just move that out so we can see it a little bit clearer. So if we go up elevator, you see the both go up and then down, and same with the other side too. So both tail planes are completely moving, and also the servos, I've given it deflection, which is left, right, up and down. Now the next thing is to adjust the centre of gravity. The centre of gravity where I've actually calculated would be right on that spar there. Now when you're test flying these planes, it's best to be a little nose heavy than it is to be tail heavy. If you're tail heavy, what will happen is that the elevator was so sensitive. So just keep that in mind. It's best to be slightly nose heavy than it is to be tail heavy. Here is the all-up weight of it, 112 grams for this micro RC glider. Here is the position of the centre of gravity, which is just behind the spar. It won't be known yet until I do further test flying on the next video to determine the proper location of the centre of gravity. That concludes our build for our micro RC glider. The next video will be the test flight. That's it for today. Bye for now.